Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Charmley. This is continuing a tour of some Staffordshire churches, and this is the church of St Chad, Seighford. I mean, look behind me, lovely Norman chancel arch. And yet, this building has changed quite a lot, even in the last 400 years. And we'll see that as we go around. There's a very good reason for that, and it has to do with the spire that used to exist and doesn't anymore. Yes, the spire fell down and squashed a great chunk of the church. So as we look around, we'll see that this is a Norman building originally with later additions, and then it's had a catastrophic event has happened that has forced the rebuilding of the side, which side? The south side even of the nave. Chancellor's fine, the nave not so much. So we'll have a look around and see what we can see. Starting as usual at the west end, the first thing we see is that this is a relatively big church, and it was big quite early. You can see these lovely late 11th, early 12th century here. So you're looking here at relatively early Norman, not long after the conquest. It's a church that has an aisle, at least one aisle, and it has this wonderful and very ornate and quite big chancel arch, and that means there was a big Norman church here. The font is rather fun. It's 17th century and quite, well, as we say, dinky. Would have been painted originally, but now it's just bare stone. There's the top over there, and there's a little window, Christ receiving little children. That was sort of vaguely horrifying. It's more than vaguely horrifying, quite frankly. 1960s, very 1960s. I mean, hippie Jesus and then some, but I shouldn't be rude about it like that. I'm not quite that rude. Up the aisle has survived. You can see here you've got that, I hope, well, I know it looks like it is actually a leaning wall, but medieval wall here. There's a 15th century windows. There clearly is something happened here because of the gap there. Be a side chapel over here, I expect, back in the period. Memorial here to Richard Cox of Stallbrook Hall, who was baptized in this church on the 20th of January 1565. On the 11th of June 1613, he reached Hirado, Japan, with John Cyrus on the East India Company ship the Clove, thereby inaugurating diplomatic and trade relations between Britain and Japan. So he died 27th of March 1624 on his way home from Japan, and this is placed in the church's memorial 2013, 400th anniversary of relations between Britain and Japan, and so much of it goes back to a man who was born in this parish and baptized in this church. Nice pulpit. Obviously it's 17th century, but has been altered, but very, very carefully altered. We've got one of these lovely memorials, William Boyer, I think. Hard to tell, the old-fashioned carving, but again you've got your man and wife. He's got this lovely suit of armour. This is 16th century. That's his coat of arms. And then down here we've got his you've got one child who's dead, that's wrapped in shroud. You've got one son there in armour again, and you've got your four daughters in their wonderful Elizabethan dresses. Got his feet on, I think it's supposed to be a lion, but again it's a medieval lion, and this has been moved around a bit, as often happened with these memorials. Big organ. We go into the chancel. The chancel survived. The chancel didn't get hit by the spire as it fell down. The nave did. Nice. Well, looks like a big house pew, isn't it, here? And you've got some medieval glass. There's St Christopher up there. I'm not sure you can see the St Christopher because of the sun. There we are. There's St Christopher. We've got a Virgin Child. We've got a young crowned saint, St Margaret perhaps. We've got an old lady saint, another lady saint, and looks like a man, probably a male saint. Big organ. No name, no maker's plate, no indication, but it's a big organ. You see lots and lots of pipes inside. Obviously these at the front there. You've got the dummies that are very important. And we have some whacking great memorials for the people who lived in Seighford Hall. Now, in the side here, this of course would be the side chapel. This is now the vestry. A nice collection of Bible Speaks Today commentaries. Duchesne's history of the church. That's quite a good one. Good set of commentaries. Good set of books. Like a nice little vestry library. We approve. I very much approve of that. Here we have 1652, 30th of January. Here lies entombed the body of Mr. Edward Boyer, son of Sir John Boyer of Knipersley. My heart, when I would wicked hopes persevere, would not be true to me. It was so true. I think somebody has messed up the inscription there, because I've got a lovely, lovely church cupboard. I mean, look at that. Sanctus, Sanctus, Sanctus. St. Chad. 1922. That is a proper vestry cupboard. Like that. Nice communion rails. Just pull back a bit and you can see the communion rails. These are 17th century, actually, I would say. So, very good. St. Chad, of course, is the first Bishop of Lichfield, so he's quite popular around here. Piscina, no Sedilia, never was any. We've got a very interesting, to put it politely, imitation medieval Annunciation. Very Victorian crucifixion in the east window. Got the Eld family here, the Elds of Seighford. These whacking great memorials, these ones. Francis Eld, and I see the date 1699. Yes, that's about right for that style. And over here we've got the 18th century, later 18th century Elds, and the big house. Obviously, they're the big house family, and that this would have been their pew. They would spend a lot of money on the church, because you did. And here we have a bit of 14th century work, so that suggests there's a 14th century side chapel added. And then we look west, and we've got this lovely Norman arcade here, and we've got the much plainer side here, because of course this is where the tower fell and took out the nave. Stained glass windows. We have the woman with the issue of blood having touched Christ's garment. John Milner of Worston Hall. This is a good 19th century memorial. Matthew Ward of Bilston. There is a Royal Arms up there, but it's so dark up there I can't see whose it is. Nice chancellor. The chancellor's okay, they exposed the stonework, which is not meant to be exposed, but it's quite nice in there anyway. Here, of course, you've got brickwork, and they don't want to expose that. He is not here, for he is risen. And here we have Reverend Edwin Cresswell Perry, M.A., 38 years, Vicar of Seighford, born June 22nd, 1828, died November the 17th, 1899. And Sir Edwin Cooper Perry, who was a humanist, a physician, and administrator. Humanist, I suspect, in terms of his, well, it's going to be, if you've got a memorial of church, isn't it, in terms of the old style of one who is learned in the humanities. So it's very interesting interior here. You've got, you see here, this panelled, boarded desk, and these look very much like they're cut down box from the old box pews. And here we have, yes, William Reynolds and Church of St. Chad. He's just the founder of the diocese, so he's very important around here. So I think that's pretty much it inside. I don't want to get these videos going on too long after all, so we'll go outside and have a look around. So here we are outside at St Chad's. You can see something of what's going on here now. We've got this whacking great tower. This tower is, I think, 18th century. From the look of it, it's certainly the Victorians would go very naughty, something like that. Don't know what like that. You've got this nice nave again. That's 18th century. There is a 1740s date on a rainwater spout, and then you've got the chancel that is medieval. What has happened in the Middle Ages? There would have been a big spire there, and it's just gone crunch. It's taken out part of the nave. Thankfully, it's spared the Norman arcade. Now, looking at it, it does look as if what they've done is they've kept the plan of the church. So there wasn't an aisle out here. It's always been just the one north aisle, and obviously now the door is in the tower, because why not? So let's have a look around the outside then, shall we? So here we are. There's our nice medieval chancel, and you can see the outline of a window behind the well, of course, what's now I think the Eld family tree, certainly the Seighford Hall pew, and there's the tower. Nice bit of brick, and you've got these good memorials, nice collection of table tombs and other things. What a contrast, red brick on one side and old local, the stone here is a bit of grey, a bit of pink. Very nice. I mean, I do like the pinnacles on there. It's very much, who cares? Let's have a tower the way we want it, rather than the tower the way somebody else says it should be. And one thing I like about the 18th century is, in the 18th century, people are very much, let's just do things the way we think they should be done, not the way that somebody tells us they should be done. There's John Milner's, what is that? John Milner's tomb. We saw his, and there we have this angel facing away. Now, these Victorian angels, they're very often, and the aim is to do something that's a bit androgynous. I'm not quite sure why. Well, I am sure why, but we have this angel facing the wrong way. I mean, really, who is this? Edmund. Oh God, that's a good name. Look at that, Edmund von Schmidt-Sekerau, who passed away 27th of August 1903, aged 39 years. That is a very German name. Von Schmidt-Sekerau, and also a German aristocrat. There we have it. Of course, the sun is up there, so be careful. But this side, the north side, you've got this nice chapel at the east end, and then past all these yew trees, because yew trees are very common in churchyards for a variety of reasons. And you find some churches are just completely surrounded by yew trees. There we have it. You see that lovely local stone, and yes, that wall is leaning outwards. I thought it was. The telltale sign is when the windows are leaning outwards. You know it's not a batter on the wall. It's just that the wall is leaning outwards. And around, go a bit closer to the church now, keeping out of the sun. We've got that nice spring weather. The north door blocked up, as we saw on the inside with the hippie Jesus window. I shouldn't call it that, but that's what it looks like to me, and so I shall call it the hippie Jesus window. And around here, avoiding some of the memorials, you see these steps up here. They appear to go to the ringing loft up there, so bell ringers go up those steps externally. It does save on one thing or another. And this lovely 18th century door, and you've got here this, that's a maybe 17th century window, and a blocked door below for some reason, and I think that would be the door down to the boiler room. So it's all very interesting, very exciting, sort of thing that, again, I'd say the ecclesiologists would be absolutely incensed about, but the rest of us, those of us who like a building that's not just been tidied up by the Victorians completely, we go, this is an interesting take on what a country church could look like. And St Chad's is very good for that. And so there we have it, St Chad's, Seighford. Very nice, very interesting building, and one of these buildings that isn't just trying to do somebody's idea of the Middle Ages. It's instead being a bit gothic-y, a bit interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching, and God bless you and keep you until the next time.